Welcome back, everybody. This is the handout entitled Composition Element Correct Word Choice. And this is to assess the lecture on word choice with the staircase and all of those different levels of diction. So the important thing to remember, as we touched upon in those lectures, is that when you sit down to write, you have to remember your audience. Just like when you're talking to a group of people, you have to remember your audience. So while each diction or each grouping of words depends upon your audience, the only acceptable word choice in college writing is standard English. Everything else is non-standard, and we have to avoid it. So the way that these exercises work is that there's a series of terms that all express the same idea. Only one is standard English, and that's the one that we have to pick. So number one, when Rebecca's teacher asked about her late science project, Rebecca replied with N.A. blank, hoping to be granted another day to complete it. So the choices there: alibi, excuse, cop-out. So there's only one that's standard there, and this would be excuse. Turn my highlighter on. Sorry, there we go. And this would be excuse. Alibi would be jargon, right? That would be an example of a term that you would hear in law enforcement, or if, in court. And then cop-out would be slang. And there's a little clue that cop-out is slang, and that we have the use of direction without, as well as just a kind of a made-up word cop. So those would be some clues there. So now if everybody would, go ahead and pause this recording and then work your way through the rest of the exercises, and then come back and then see how you did. All right, so we're back. Let's take a look at the second sentence. Wearing his new Chicago Cubs jersey, Timothy was blanked for baseball's opening day. Timothy was eager. Eager is the standard English term. There's other terms we could have used here, such as excited. We could have put that in there. The other two terms are both slang. What are the clues there? Hyped up. Hyped, you've probably heard that used often in slang reference, as well as it has the direction. And then hyper, that comes from hyperactive, but we shorten it. Anytime that we shorten words or do anything like that, that would be slang. Jacob and his girlfriend watched all of the movie credits before blank the theater. Leaving is standard English. Vacating, that would be jargon. You might have heard vacate the premises. That would be jargon. And then getting out of is slang. What are the clues there? Improper use of the verb getting, as well as improper use of direction. So please remember not to use forms of the verb to get, as well avoid using those directional terms. The next one. Tammy was so surprised by her sister's Halloween prank that she blank. Tammy did what? Fainted. Passed out is slang. What's the clue? See that out? That's the clue there. Swooned would be antiquated. Swooned is a really old-fashioned term for fainted. Now, the next one. Knowing the busy Thanksgiving holiday was nearing, Mother spent hours blank as many different dishes as possible. Mother spent hours preparing. Now, getting ready, you'll notice there improper use of get, so that would be slang. Fixing, you might have marked fixing, and that would be because this would be a dialect expression in the American South. We should only use fixing to indicate if something was broken. And mother is not breaking dishes and then repairing them. She is preparing meals. You could have said, instead of preparing, you could have said cooking, and then that would have been okay. When asked why no one voted for Mary to be homecoming queen, everyone replied that she was conceited. Conceited is a good word. That's standard English. Stuck up. You'll notice the direction. Slang. Haughty. That is antiquated. That's old-fashioned. Seeing his failing semester grades, Jeffrey knew he had been too blank in his studies. Jeffrey had been too lazy in his studies. Lazy, standard English. Laid back and slack are both slang. And you'll notice the direction, back. Notice that? Number 8. With New Year's Eve approaching, Kenneth made certain to buy enough blank for his party. There's a lot of different slang terms for alcoholic beverages, but the word liquor is standard. Booze, juice, sauce, all of those terms are slang. Now, what's interesting, when you put the word hard in front of liquor, hard liquor, then it becomes slang, which is interesting that people put the word hard in front of liquor, because if you were to pour a glass, I mean, it's not hard, it's a liquid. Liquids aren't hard. We freeze them, but you can't freeze. And then you can see that we're getting way off topic here. This is why word choice is so much fun. Number 9, knowing he was innocent, the prisoner spent hours each day planning his escape. Get away, you see the get in there. Break out, you see the out. Those are indicators that both of those terms are slang. After eating and drinking too much, Charles waddled to the restroom, knowing he was about to blank. And there's many different slang terms for bodily functions. The correct term for what Charles is about to do is vomit. Hurl and spew, spit up, throw up, all of those non-standard slang. Then the last exercise here. Jessica loved algebra because of the moment when she blanked the solution for the unknown variable. Jessica discovered. Now, you probably are able to discern the clues here, that what makes the other two non-standard. You see those directions? Out, on, non-standard. So please remember, no directions. Please don't use any forms of the verb to get. So, hope everyone appreciated and got some knowledge from our look here about correct word choice.